Well, we're back with Ron Wyatt in the Museum of Ancient Mysteries, and this is another section of the museum. What is this depicting here?
Larry, this is our display on Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, there's the 5 cities of the plains burned up during the days of Abraham.
That was a bad place, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, they had some bad habits that seems to have crept back into society once again. What we have is burnt cities. We have the very obvious city ramparts, we have sphinxes, ziggurats, and the most, shall we say, the greatest proof are these millions of sulfur spheres. 96 to 98% pure sulfur. Each one of them has a capsule of burnt sulfur on it, showing that it's been on fire. They are spherical in shape, except the ones that have impacted and changed that shape. This implies that they came through the atmosphere.
Did you find the lady who's turned into a pillar of salt?
We haven't looked for her, but you know, we all have some ideas, and I think we may be able to find her if she's if there's anything survived to this point in time.
Well, Ron, could this be one of your relatives here, or what?
Well, I think he's one of God's creatures, but shall we say he belongs to a different category.
This is not a dinosaur, is it?
I believe it is.
Really?
I believe, yes, Larry, there have been found giant sheep, giant wombats, giant everything in the animal kingdom, and for that matter in the insect and vegetable kingdoms. If the giant skeletons of things that look just like these dinosaurs, these lizards, iguanas, are not the remains of these, then where are the ancient giant remains of these particular critters? What you're looking at here is 2 varieties of pyramid building machines. The one nearest the wall is a single lift device. These can be tailor-made to lift anything up to 500 tons, lift at 60 feet in the air. We built a working model, lifted our van with it. Anyway, and this one is the multi-lift. With this, you can pass a pallet or a platform from one set of levers to the next, right on up as high as you want to go. The only limits to this system of lifting stones is the individual's willingness to build a bigger machine. Now, in the background, we show some of the actual timbers that were found in burials in Egypt. So this is not speculation. It's in the hieroglyphs. It's described in Herodotus's histories. And also we have found the levers, actual levers that were used in the boat burial near the Great Pyramid. And we find representative timbers in the royal burials. And they, of course, didn't have anything in their burial furnishings that they were not familiar with in life. And, of course, the idea of having them in their burial was that they could put them to use afterwards. Anyway, this is something that people have been curious about for thousands of years. And here in our museum, we have displays of how they were built, how the giant stones were lifted.
Herodotus writes of a contrivance the Egyptians used to construct them. Quote, "The method employed was to build it in steps, or, as some call them, tiers or terraces. When the base was complete, the blocks for the first tier above it were lifted from ground level by contrivances made of short timbers. On the first tier there was another, which raised the blocks a stage higher, then yet another which raised them higher still. Each tier or story had its own set of levers, or it may be that they used the same one, which, being easy to carry, they shifted up from the stage to stage as soon as its load was dropped into place." This passage, combined with the study of hieroglyphics, led Ron to his conclusion. to construct one of these machines on a pyramid, he demonstrated to the head of the Department of Antiquities in Cairo, Nasif Mohammed Hassan, its operation. Mr. Hassan then showed Ron some pieces of wood they had stored, which they had believed were parts of a boat. But when they tried to assemble them, they couldn't. So they simply placed them in storage. As they examined these pieces, they now knew what they were.